All right, welcome to the Craft Beer Voyager Show. I'm your host, Michael Thacker. Today I'm sitting here with the guys from Collective Brewing Project, Ryan Deyo, I believe is how you pronounce your last name,
Deyo.
and Dave Riddle.
Riddle,
right, yeah. I got close in there.
Everybody does. It's fine.
Well, thank you guys for taking your time for having me over here and everything. I know y'all guys are busy. Here's the machines over there running pretty hard. And
we got just knocking out something over there on the brew house right now. So
good deal.
Food or beer? Sweet.
Heck of a deal. So Ryan, what got you into brewing, specifically sours?
I kind of discovered those on my journey to be a pro brewer, but what specifically, I guess, got me into brewing was craft beer. Just drinking a lot. Being a firefighter, you got a lot of time on your hands, so I became a home brewer on my days off, and really just kind of wanting to pursue knowing everything I could about craft beer led me to home brewing, and then and my business partner was a home brewer at the time. He also, that was his hobby, passing time that way. He got me into craft beer and started home brewing, and then I just the kind of person that reads a lot of books. Or books, because I wasn't bloggy at the time. Then became blogs, and now YouTube or whatever. Just kind of being info hungry.
Yeah, that's good.
Got me into home brewing, and then we just decided to start a business out of it. So.
Yeah, out of all things though, what about sours? I mean, why did you get into sours specifically?
I mean, we're in Texas, so the acidity just makes sense. And our weather,
110-degree weather, and
all beers are a little acidic. Even your Pilsner and your stout and everything, your finished beer is on the acidic end of the spectrum. So just amping up that acidity in certain styles makes sense. Kind of that thirst quenching, lemonade-y kind of character just really works in Texas.
That's
120 degrees outside.
Yeah, no joke. You're sitting in the shade, there's no breeze. Feel like you're dying, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people are curious about sours and like what constitutes sour, like what actually makes up a sour. You have the three main, the wild yeast. I don't even know how to say the name. Pronounce them anyhow.
Yeah, I mean,
bacteria.
That's the main separation that we try to preach really hard, is that we'll utilize Brettanomyces, or Brett for short, as the yeast most of the time. Sometimes there's a mix of Brett and traditional Saccharomyces, brewer's yeast. But what the yeast does, Brett does the same thing Sac does, meaning it creates CO2 and alcohol and some esters that come across as flavor. But what actually makes a beer sour is bacteria. The two main ones, kind of the most pleasant ones that are used, being Lactobacillus and Pediococcus. Lactobacillus is like in your Greek yogurt. It's that classic, hits you in the back of the jaw tartness. Pedio is a little more round and soft, nuanced. But that's really the main difference. A lot of people come in and it's it's a Brett beer, so it's sour. Not necessarily.
It's just more the funkiness.
Yeah, that can be funky. It can be anywhere from horse blanket is an actual descriptor used. So imagine what that would smell or taste like. All the way to stone fruit and tropical fruits, and just depending on when it's added, how long it's on the beer, the temperature when it's added, all sorts of things. So that's something we've been railing on for a long time. Even our Wi-Fi name is Brett does not make beer sour.
That's pretty good.
So we've kind of been on that kick for a minute. That's really the nuts and bolts of it. And sour beer doesn't necessarily have to be sour painfully. It can be tart, maybe. Kind of refreshing, more Gatorade-like.
There's a spectrum scale there, just like
totally.
there is for colors, as far as that goes.
I like to look at like sour beer as more of an overarching category, like ale and lager.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
There's tons of different styles within the sour beer family, and that they all kind of tend to get lumped together with your like German styles, which are soured in the kettle and done overnight and are really quick and tend to be like they're super delicious and refreshing. The acidity tends to be a little bit more one note, and there's a couple different styles within that family. Then there's your like mixed culture, barrel fermented and aged, or wood fermented and aged sour beers, and we actually do a mix of both with our blueberry lime goza being like a quicker turnaround sour.
Oh, okay.
That's more like your everyday drinker, and then the things that we do out of our food are more like wine, a bit more nuanced, a bit more complex, and they're beers that you can crush, or they're beers that you can spend 10 minutes thinking about.
Yeah. I figure out what the hell is this.
Yeah. So.
No, that's and last time you were talking about like the mixed culture beers, and you were talking about like several different bacteria. So what do you have, like two main bacteria, which is the lacto and the
PDO?
Yeah, PDO, and then everything like there's strains that stem from
there's like
too?
substrains of all of those. Same as with like different yeasts, like Saccharomyces and Brett. There's different substrains that provide different flavors.
Kind of like cannabis or
work
something.
differently.
Indica, Stephen, and everything strains from there.
Actually,
I had to figure that one out.
And then when you like blend those together to like either create your own kind of house culture, or if you're using a mixed culture that's already kind of made from a lab, that's been like designed to create certain flavors over time. You don't just kind of do it all willy-nilly. Like you understand, if you're doing it right, you understand the characteristics of that yeast or bacteria, what it'll provide over time, how it reacts to other variables like heat and hops and whatever.
Yeah.
And hopefully you blend them properly to get the desired outcome, which is whatever kind of flavor profile you're looking for in that beer specifically. Because like there are hop-driven breweries and malt-driven breweries and that sort of thing. I'd say Ryan is a yeast-driven brewer, and we are a yeast-driven brewery, meaning we're leaning on that yeast to provide a lot of the flavor of the beer, and then playing around with whatever we get there, whether it's adding fruit or other things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's very interesting, how much science and stuff actually goes behind everything. It's pretty cool. And I was meeting with guys over in Community the other day, and they were talking about how they have test labs and stuff like that, and you have to make sure, because they brew some, sours and then some, regular styles. And they were talking about how, you run the risk of, contaminating your entire facility. Sure. And so I know y'all brew some, more common styles now with IPAs and the Pilsner, I believe it was, the stout, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And how do y'all keep that separated exactly from...
We're good janitors.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Yeah, we, cleaning is the most important thing we do when we brew, from a customer's perspective, because you don't want, your brewers poisoning you.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's really hard to do in this industry. But, everybody likes walking into a clean kitchen. So our place is immaculate. We maintain different sets of equipment to do different beers.
Yeah.
And our cleaning processes are really good. So we're not worried about cross-contamination. We're vigilant for it. But we're not as scared of it as Community is.
Yeah.
So, and like that, really that attention to detail. And this can be said for a lot of brewery tap rooms, especially. But like the attention to detail in the brew house comes over to the tap room. So like when I'm serving you a beer, the first thing I'm doing is checking the glass before I even put anything in it. Before I even rinse it, I'm checking it to make sure that it's clean and not cracked, and like you're going to get the perfect service too. To go along with something like we spend all this time and care in there, and a lot of time cleaning in the brew house. that we don't want to ruin it when you get over to the tap room. 'Cause
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
really where the experience starts for the consumer. So I'd say like across the board, we're maybe a little more anal than most, but I'd say most breweries for sure are that way. Some bars maybe aren't, but
Yeah. It's all
you
different
know.
story there.
yeah, but yeah, we kind of have that. We have to be really mindful of that.
Yeah.
And that also is, because we don't want anything to sort of get weird over here either from a cleanliness
exactly.
standpoint. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like most breweries, say that it's cleanliness that really counts. Because one little problem, it can just mess everything up, flavors and everything else that goes along with the beers. And so y'all, you said you did some kettle sours, but then you also do some of the wood barrel.
Well, we do a process similar to kettle souring. Our process, we sour in our fermenter.
Okay.
And then depending on the beer, we boil it and ferment it with Saccharomyces yeast, or we don't boil it, we let it ferment with Brettanomyces. Kettle souring, the beer never leaves the kettle. Lactobacillus is put into the wort and held at a certain temperature, and develops that acidity in hours rather than days and months. Our short process sours over the course of a few days and then ferments out over a period of weeks. So it's similar to kettle souring. Our kettle just isn't set up to produce a good kettle sour, so we don't do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, y'all are kind of different. I kind of talked to you about that a little bit before than most breweries. Most of them do kettle, sours, while y'all do.
We kind of made our name on a shorter sour beer, but then we would age it in wood for long periods of time or add copious amounts of fruit. And then after that, concurrently starting a project in a foeder in oak barrels that takes a super long period of time.
Yeah.
So now our culture's kind of seasoned. It takes only like 6 months for us to get a really nice complex sour beer out of our foeder. Whereas, before, when the culture was young and hadn't seen as much beer, it took at least a year. So we developed a couple of different sour beer lines kind of concurrently to pay the bills while the other one was taking a nap. So
what exactly does the foeder? Is that how you say that? Foeder?
Yeah.
How does that work exactly?
It's just a giant barrel.
It's just a giant wooden barrel, and that's what those things are with funny faces on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some googly eyes on ours.
Yeah, we've got 4 back there. I think 3 are full right now.
Okay.
So we've got just took a sour stout out of a foeder. We have a sour red beer in an old cognac foeder. Our original sour culture is sitting in an American oak foeder, and then we have one of the other ones with the googly eyes on it back there is a different malt bill that focuses a bit more on rye and a different kind of mix of biology in that one, fermenting a gold beer. So.
Oh, okay, and they've been sitting in there for like a long time.
And like the American oak one, which produces Woodfolk for us, that's the base beer. Like that culture has been in there since the beginning, and it kind of lives in that environment. It's basically to create like this larger environment for the culture that you put in there to live in, and it will, after a while, like you said, after it's a little more seasonal, produce consistent wood-aged sour beer or mixed culture beer, however you want to refer to it.
Yeah.
So it just kind of takes out some of the variability of like having to blend, like say 20 barrels, individual barrels to get the product every time. We can just pull off some of that beer, and then we're already working with what we know to be like the product we desire, and then we can take that, release it on its own, or take that and put fruit in it or whatever else. So
Okay. That's pretty interesting. What kind of new equipment have y'all? And those are pretty new as far as the foeders, or?
The American oak one Let's see. We got that in the week before we went to our first GABF.
Oh, so over 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before.
And then the other two are 2 years old?
Yeah, we've had them for 2 years.
Okay.
The first one we got was built for us by American Food and Crafters. That's the American Oak one.
Cool.
They're in St. Louis. And then the other three from
refurbished.
France. Yeah, I think it used to hold cognac. And so I don't actually know how old those are. But they're kind of new to us, and they've been refurbed, and they're in pretty good shape. It
took a lot of rehab when we got them here because they dry out. They come over on a boat from France and then in a truck from South Carolina, I think. And so they dry out, because wood's porous, so all that moisture leaves, and then you get it took us like a year to get them to be able to hold a good batch of liquid. So.
Oh wow. Yeah, great. Have y'all had any other kind of new equipment that y'all brought in that's kind of enhanced anything for you guys or over the years?
No, I mean that part of our sour beer making process is kind of an old world techniques. So, we haven't needed anything new, I guess.
Yeah, just rolling with it on that end.
Outside of some larger tanks, so we can just make more beer.
Yeah. That's a cool deal. Y'all have any like new exciting beers kind of coming up, or?
Yeah. We've got Tropsicle coming out in cans here fairly soon. That's it's our tart fruited IPA.
Okay. That's what I got. Yeah. No, it tastes really good. That's for sure.
It's it's a cool joint made with pink guava and pineapple and dry hopped with Cascade. So it's like lightly acidic, tropical tasting. The Cascade hops make it a little citrusy.
Yeah.
So
not too tart. I mean, it's like nice and smooth for the most part. Real good.
But we've got some sour beer that's finishing up aging on some of the cherries from one of last year's projects that we're going to package up for probably around 4th of July release.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it kind of reminds us, it's cherries and second-use cherries and golden sour beer. But when you taste it and get a little whiff of the type of cherries, kind of lend a cinnamon note. And then it tastes like apple juice.
Oh wow, yeah.
But not in a bad way.
Yeah.
We're thinking like all American apple pie kind of.
Yeah.
Summer release.
Still kind of light overall though for the most part. That way it's perfect for 100-degree 4th of July.
The fruit flavor there.
The acidity's light, so you'll be able to drink a couple of them with the fireworks.
Yeah.
Can I say which beer I'm most excited about that's coming out soon?
You can.
Okay. We've never lagered here.
Oh, okay,
period.
yeah.
Haven't ever, but we have our first like very traditional Pilsner coming out with like all Saaz hops, and I'm a big like Pilsner freak. So I tasted some of it yesterday for the first time, and it's tasting pretty good. It's like lagering away right now, but I'm pretty pumped about it. Yeah.
When does that come out? How much longer do you have?
A few more weeks.
Next month.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just started lagering. So,
yeah.
We got another month of lagering ahead of it, and I'm pretty excited about it too because we might try and put that out.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Yeah, so it's like, I'm definitely kind of expanding on that.
Yeah, that gives us like something too that's like ultra approachable, familiar when somebody walks in. That I can then be like, hey, you like that thing? All right, cool. Try this thing. Just move them down the line.
Yeah.
And we'll see how much we get to release to the market just because of how much me and Ryan drink. Yeah. We might drink most of it.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
I drink more Pilsners than I do anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I drink my own sour beer.
Mm-hmm.
And
Pilsners.
And Pilsners.
Yeah.
And usually just one Pilsner right now.
Yeah.
Until ours comes out.
Yeah.
And I'll probably drink two.
Yeah, man.
That's good stuff, though. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we're pretty
Y'all
excited
have-
about those.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all have any events coming up? Y'all attending any events, or y'all hosting any events or anything?
Yeah, we got a couple different festivals we're going to be at. We're lucky enough that because of the like sour beers that we make, we've gotten in and gotten invited to a bunch of great beer festivals, kind of either focused on that or kind of focused on a certain kind of beer producer. We get into these like all across the country. I just came back from going to Indianapolis for Upland Brewings. They're real great friends of ours. They're in
Oh, okay.
Bloomington.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They have a sour wild funk fest that we were at. Everything went well. We sold out real fast, which was kind of a surprise, but it was cool.
Yeah.
And then at the end of this month, we actually got invited to 2 different festivals that are on the same day in different states. And so we're going to kind of divide and conquer the best we can with our small team. And the first one, they're both on the 27th of April. The first one is Prairie Artisan Ales up in McAllister.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's their first ever festival, and it's called Little Festival on the Prairie.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's going to be a blast. We've got a couple of our guys going out to that. And then in Nashville that same day, Yazoo's like Embrace the Funk program, their sour wild section led by Brandon Jones, who's a killer brewer. He does a funk fest every year. That's a whole lot of fun, and it's kind of like, you go to a beer festival, it's like the tables are set up and you just get served across the table and whatever, like that's the interaction you have with the brewer.
Yeah.
This one is like the free jazz of beer festivals. He doesn't tell you where to pour from. Like if you want to go sit on those stairs and pour, if you want to get out in the middle of the crowd and just be like, come over here, I got this bottle, Or if you want to walk through the line while people are waiting on food, you can just top people up as you go. It's so much fun because it's super interactive, and it's just more like a big backyard party, but with whole hog barbecue and some of the best sours and saison that are made in the world.
Yeah.
They all show up.
Best festivals I've ever been to.
So when picking for those events, do y'all roll dice or figure out?
We're definitely doing both of those because those are our people. All who gets to go to it?
Who picks which one? How do y'all do that?
We decide. We decide fairly. I think.
And rock paper scissors, narrow it down after a while.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little bigger showing at the Prairie one just because it's the first time doing that.
Okay, yeah.
But then at Yazoo, I think it might just be me driving out there. We kind of mix and match it. I'm the only guy without a family or any responsibilities.
That sounds really sad when you say it.
Yeah, I know. I'm very lonely, but I get to go. But they feel bad for me, so they send me out on the road, or they're just trying to get rid of me.
We don't like him, and we hope he we hope he makes other friends.
Yeah. I haven't.
Go venture out in the world. Fly away.
We get out I would say, I think last year we did about 14 out-of-state festivals, which is maybe too many. But this year we'll probably get out 10, and then there's all the big local ones. We just had Big Texas Beer Fest last weekend. Last weekend, which is the biggest one in Texas. It's always really well run and a big party. A lot of people come around and come up for it.
Yeah.
Which that's always a good time. So festival season will take a little bit of a break when it gets too hot, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly.
But
slow down a little bit.
Yeah, right now it's we got a lot of stuff going. Pretty much every weekend there's some kind of thing happening. Outside of just what we like to do here.
That's really cool. I mean, most smaller local breweries don't get out that drastically. That's really cool. Guys are doing that. Expanding outward and shining forth Dallas-Fort Worth. To the rest of the world.
It's always cool. They're where are you guys located? It's we're in Fort Worth, and they'll be awesome. I didn't know that Fort Worth had this scene going on. I was it's not just us. It's the Turning Points. It's the Hot Fusions. It's the classic stuff community's making is always solid. There's a lot of people really killing it around here.
For sure.
We just gotta,
it's definitely expanded over the years.
We love being a part of that, being able to say we feel like we're making a good product, but we got all these friends back home that we want you to come back and check out. Come to Dallas, Fort Worth, and hang out, eat some barbecue, drink some beers.
Check the Fort Worth craft beer culture out.
Yeah.
It's a cool deal. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, guys, I really appreciate your time and everything, and
Yeah, man.
it's really great talking with y'all. And so,
Thanks for hanging out with us.
absolutely. So, if y'all ever get a chance coming into Fort Worth, come check out Collective Brewing Project. You won't be disappointed. That's for sure. Expand your horizon by drinking some of the greatest sours in the DFW Metroplex. So, thank you for listening, and cheers.